Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou. One is a tactical genius with the best fight IQ the sport has ever seen. The other is a powerhouse with knockout power that could flatten anyone in his path. But what would happen if these two giants stepped into the octagon to face off? Could Jones's technique outlast Ngannou's raw power, or would Ngannou land the punch that ends it all? In today's video, we're breaking down this dream matchup, analyzing how these two UFC legends would match up against each other. We'll take a look at their strengths, their weaknesses, and ultimately, who would come out on top in this battle of titans. So stick around as we dive into the ultimate showdown between Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou. 1. Jon Jones, the tactical genius. Jon Jones is widely regarded as one of the greatest fighters in UFC history. Known for his unmatched fight IQ, Jones has dominated the light heavyweight division for over a decade, defeating legends like Daniel Cormier, Alexander Gustafsson, and Lyoto Machida. His ability to adapt to any opponent and utilize a wide range of techniques, wrestling, striking, submissions, makes him one of the most well-rounded fighters in the sport. Jones's genius lies in his ability to analyze his opponents and find their weaknesses. He's a master of controlling the distance, using his reach to keep opponents at bay while picking them apart with precise strikes. And when the fight goes to the ground, Jones's wrestling skills are second to none, allowing him to control his opponents and wear them down. But Jones isn't just a tactician, he's a fierce competitor who thrives in the toughest situations. His fights with Daniel Cormier, in particular, showcased his mental toughness and ability to perform under pressure. If Jones were to face off against Ngannou, his strategy would likely revolve around avoiding the knockout punch while using his superior technique to outlast the powerful heavyweight. Next, let's take a closer look at Ngannou's power and what makes him such a terrifying opponent. 2. Francis Ngannou, the powerhouse. Francis Ngannou is a fighter unlike any other in the UFC. His knockout power is legendary, and his ability to finish fights quickly has made him one of the most feared heavyweights in the sport's history. With knockout victories over top fighters like Stipe Miocic, Alistair Overeem, and Cain Velasquez, Ngannou's power is undeniable. His highlight reel is filled with devastating finishes, often coming in the first round. What sets Ngannou apart is his raw strength and explosiveness. When he connects with a punch, it's lights out. But Ngannou isn't just a one-dimensional fighter. In recent years, he's improved his wrestling and takedown defense, making him a more well-rounded threat. His victory over Stipe Miocic to win the heavyweight title in 2021 showcased his improved fight IQ and ability to stay composed under pressure. In a matchup against Jon Jones, Ngannou's game plan would likely focus on landing that one big punch. While Jones has the technique and fight IQ, Ngannou's power can change the course of a fight in an instant. If he can close the distance and connect, it could be a short night for Jones. Now, let's examine how these two contrasting styles would match up in the octagon. 3. Styles make fights. How would they match up? When it comes to a fight between Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou, it's truly a clash of styles. Jones is the technician, relying on his fight IQ, reach, and versatility to outsmart his opponents. Ngannou, on the other hand, is the powerhouse, a fighter who can end the fight with a single punch. So how would these two match up? Jones would likely use his superior wrestling and clinch work to keep Ngannou off balance. By controlling the distance and avoiding Ngannou's heavy hands, Jones could frustrate the heavyweight and wear him down as the fight progresses. On the feet, Jones would use his long-range kicks and jabs to score points without getting too close to Ngannou's dangerous power. For Ngannou, the key would be to close the distance and turn the fight into a brawl. If he can pressure Jones and force him into exchanges, his knockout power could prove decisive. However, Ngannou would need to be wary of Jones's wrestling and submissions, as getting taken down could spell trouble for the heavyweight. Now, let's dive into the backstory of why this fight never happened and the drama behind the scenes that kept this dream matchup from becoming a reality. 4.
The potential drama behind the scenes.
The Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou fight has been talked about for years, but it never materialized. So why didn't we get to see this epic showdown? The answer lies in a combination of timing, negotiations, and drama behind the scenes. After Francis Ngannou won the heavyweight title in 2021, many fans expected him to defend his belt against Jon Jones, who was preparing to move up to heavyweight after dominating the light heavyweight division. However, contract negotiations between Ngannou and the UFC stalled, with Ngannou expressing dissatisfaction with the terms of his deal. At the same time, Jones was also locked in negotiations with the UFC over his own contract, seeking a bigger payday for the potential super fight. Dana White publicly blamed Ngannou for the fight not happening, claiming the former heavyweight champion didn't want the fight. Ngannou, on the other hand, insists he was always willing to face Jones but didn't want to be locked into a long-term contract with the UFC. Eventually, Ngannou left the UFC to sign with the PFL, effectively ending any hope of a Jones and Ngannou fight, at least for now. Let's finish by predicting how this dream matchup might play out if it ever happened. 5. Fantasy fight prediction: who wins? If Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou ever faced off, it would be one of the most highly anticipated fights in UFC history. So who would win in this dream matchup? Jones's experience, technique, and fight IQ would give him a significant advantage in terms of strategy. He's proven time and time again that he can adapt to any opponent, and his wrestling skills could be a game changer against Ngannou. If Jones can avoid the knockout punch, there's a good chance he could take Ngannou down and control the fight on the ground. However, Ngannou's power is a wild card. It only takes one clean shot to end the fight, and Ngannou has shown that he can knock out even the most durable opponents. If Ngannou can pressure Jones early and force him into a striking exchange, the fight could be over in the blink of an eye. Ultimately, this fight would come down to whether Jones can execute his game plan and avoid Ngannou's power. It's a close call, but if Jones fights smart and stays out of danger, he could emerge victorious. However, if Ngannou lands that one big punch, it could be lights out for Jones. Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou, the ultimate fantasy fight. Who do you think would win? Let us know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more fight breakdowns, UFC news, and exclusive content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.